We serve a supernatural God. Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Roseby Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about we serve a supernatural God, man. You know what I'm saying? So this message is like a reminder of the type of God that we serve, man. We serve a supernatural God, man. We serve a God to whereas he gonna figure something out, man. You know what I'm saying? Bro, we serving a God who is raining down the plagues on Egypt, you know what I'm saying, to set the slaves free, man. Trying to tell you, man. We raining down a God who is making frogs attack out of nowhere. Where did them frogs literally come from, bro? Did God just like spawn them out of thin air? Did they come from underground? Man, I'm telling you, man, we serving a God who really like make stuff pop out of thin air, bro. If he wants to, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. He done created the world just by speaking words, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. We serving a supernatural God, man. So if God did all these miracles, and if God really had all these things going on for the people in the Bible, what make you feel like he ain't gonna have things going on for you, man? I'm trying to tell you, man. He gonna figure something out, man. He gonna figure something out. So that's why it's very important that we trust God, bro, because we serving a supernatural, almighty God, bro. We serving the type of God, bro, who make water flow from a rock. That's the type of God we serve, bro. That's a miracle. Water flowing from a rock. You know what I'm saying? Even like when God gave Samson the strength, the supernatural strength to kill 1,000 enemies, bro, that's the type of God that we serve. We serving a supernatural God. We serving the type of God who could do miracles, man. You know what I'm saying? And I have like a cold going on, bro. It's like a seasonal allergy thing. So if I'm off in this message a little bit, man, I have a cold, man. You know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, man, bro, we're serving a supernatural God, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, like, bro, there's been many times in my life to whereas I'm like, damn, how I'm gonna figure this out? I'm gonna figure that out, man. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I realized that certain battles in your life, it's like God will allow the battle to happen in your life, but you ain't even supposed to be fighting that battle. That's the battle you're supposed to surrender to God, bro. So it's like it takes discernment to know which battle do I surrender to God versus which battle that God want me to fight on my own, bro. You know what I'm saying? Certain battles, God will allow you to go through certain battles where you gotta just give the battle to God, and surrender the battle to God so God can fight that battle for you. And in other battles, God wants us to do our part and just fight the battle, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm keeping it real with you, man. We serve it like a supernatural God, man. We serve it like an awesome God, like an amazing God, bro. You know what I'm saying? He wakes us up every day like 365 days, bro. Trying to tell you, bro. Be waking us up every single day, bro. Giving us breath of life, man, bro. Like everything just supernatural with God, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm telling you, bro, he gonna make a way. He gonna make a way, bro. If one thing that God knows how to do, he knows how to like figure out how to make a way for his people, bro. And God been doing this stuff since Genesis, bro. Just really like figuring out ways on how to deliver his people and you know, just trust God to deliver you, man. You know, from whatever you could be going through, man. We serving it like a supernatural God, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Do not give up. Do not lose hope. Do not lose faith. None of that, bro. Because we serving a supernatural God, man. Man, God was out there turning water into blood. You know what I'm saying? Frogs was pulling up to the Pharaoh's palace. Frogs was everywhere. And, you know what I'm saying? God could have easily chose to summon any animal. God could have easily chosen to summon dinosaurs to Pharaoh's palace. God would have been, you know what? I'm just summoning dragons and sharks. Man, God could have summoned sharks instead of frogs. Trying to tell you, God could have summoned anything in the Pharaoh's palace when Pharaoh refused to let the people go when Moses said so, bro. When God told Moses to tell the Pharaoh, let the people go. Man, God could have easily summoned like bears, but he chose to summon frogs first. He could have easily summoned dragons. He could have summoned like Goku. Man, don't you know how that stuff would be critical, bro? We serving a supernatural God, man. Man, God could easily summon a anime character. He's God. He could summon anything. You mean to tell me God couldn't have summoned Goku against Pharaoh? God could have summoned Frieza against Pharaoh. He's God. He could summon anybody, bro. God said, "Let my people go," and you're not letting the people go. Man, God could have easily summoned Frieza. Shoot, God could have even summoned Krillin, bro. Krillin would have got the job done. Pharaoh would have been one destructor disc away from destruction. Man, God could have easily summoned anything, bro. Man, God could have summoned like God could have even summoned them anacondas, bro, them big snakes, bro. God could have summoned like tigers, bro. God could have summoned anything, bro. Bro, God had like a whole loadout. Just think about that, bro. God had like a whole loadout, but he chose to summon the things that he summoned. He chose to summon those 10 plagues of Egypt. But you gotta understand, he has like an unlimited loadout. So God could have easily summoned anything, but he chose those 10 moves, bro. He only gave Pharaoh like 10 moves, bro. And Pharaoh was done for, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. But God could have easily kept that stuff going for real. If Pharaoh still didn't let the people go after his son died, bro, God could have easily kept that stuff going. God could have easily pulled out the 11th plague. Now, you don't want to know what that would have been. Lord have mercy. You don't know what the 11th plague would have been. You want to take it to the Bible? We're serving a supernatural God. You could have pulled out like an 11th, man. Could I like pull out the 11th card, bro? You don't want to know what the 11th plague of Egypt would have been. God's loadout is God could have kept that stuff going forever. God could have kept that stuff going forever with Pharaoh. That's what Pharaoh knucklehead wouldn't understand, bro. Pharaoh didn't understand that we're serving a supernatural God. Pharaoh thought God playing. Moses came polite. Moses was like, "Hey, bro, let them people go." Simple instruction. God was about to drag that stuff out till forever. God was like, "I got time today." God was like, "I got time today." He only hit him with like 10 moves, and Pharaoh was done. Imagine Pharaoh was like, "Nah, I'm still not gonna let the people go after the 10th move." Man, imagine like 100 plagues of Egypt. Man, God would have pulled out like the 100th plague, bro. Man, the 100th plague, God probably would have split the earth open. Creatures from hell would have been popping out. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the anime villains would have been popping out. Naruto, everybody, man. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, Naruto, Goku, the solo leveling monsters, everybody would have been popping out of that grave, bro. Trying to tell you, man. God would have summoned Dracula. God would have summoned the devil himself. Man, God would have summoned dragons. Man, God would have summoned rats. God would have summoned roaches. Man, God would have summoned everything, man. Pharaoh talking about he ain't letting the people go, man. God was not playing. God was like, "I have time today." And that's what happens in a lot of situations. When God tells people something, they think God playing. You ever tell people the truth and they think God playing, failing to realize that God has time today? People today is going through the plagues of Egypt in their own life today. They dealing with all type of plagues from God today because they not trying to obey what God is trying to tell them to do. when you're not obeying what God is telling you to do, God gonna keep that stuff going forever until you give up, until you surrender. Be like, hey, bro, I give up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, man. But you know what I'm saying, bro? This cold been whooping me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say, bro. We serve a supernatural God, and if God could do all these things, bro, then God will figure out a way to deliver you from whatever you're going through. If you're faithful to Him, if you're loyal to Him, man, God is gonna figure out a way to make things happen, bro. He always figures something out, bro. He always figures something out. God is the I figure it out type God, bro. All you gotta do is just trust Him, and He gonna figure something out. He gonna figure something out every time, bro. If you trust Him and you have faith in Him, and you do your part and you're doing right by Him, He gonna figure out a way to deliver you. Cause man, God would have taken it to like 100th plague. It would have been like 100 plagues of Egypt. Man, Pharaoh would have been cut to the crisp by the 100th plague, bro. Stuff would have been critical for Pharaoh, bro. Man, stuff would have been bad, bro. So I'm trying to tell you, man, God only used 10 moves on the loadout. For the gamers out there, man, God only used 10 moves on the loadout, man. That's it. Ain't need more. Man, Pharaoh would have been like, hey, I'm not letting the people go even after the 10th plague. Man, God would have been dragged that stuff on to like 100 moves, bro. 100 moves. That's not even 1% of God's infinite loadout, bro. That's just 100 moves. By the 100th plague, bro, cooked. Pharaoh would have been cooked. Pharaoh and his soldiers would have been totally cooked, bro. But hey, bro, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. This was just a reminder, bro. We serve a supernatural God. And if God will do all these things, bro, man, I'm telling you, God is going to make a way for you. God's going to make a way for me. And for all the people who's loyal to Him, people who put it in the work, people who's grinding, and people who's, you know what I'm saying, faithful to Him, man. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace.